Yeah. Okay. Welcome. We're going to talk some hybrid fitness, man. That's what we're all about here in the chill zone of hybrid fitness media. This is the live show, which, surprise, we're going live. And not only do we have Cheryl, who's back yet again, but we have, somebody get the red carpet out, because I've got not one, I've got two first place elite DEKA Fit NorCal champions, Glenn Racz and the lady they call Moose. Welcome to the show, guys.
Thank you.
What is happening?
Woo! Working.
Yeah, just sitting in the office with the door closed so nobody bothers me.
Oh yeah, you guys are in working hours here. I'm here in the East Coast, man. Our day's already winding down, bro. So I'll tell you why I was late. My daughter got this great job at this brewery place near where we live. It's great. It's very close. So it's not a long way to go. And or if we don't feel like getting her, which is almost any given night, we make her take an Uber. So it's a short, not that expensive ride. I was like, oh, I can do the show. I can drop her off. I can do the show outside, which I've done before. But it's Cinco de Mayo. Glenn, that's your people, right?
No.
That's not your people?
It's not Glenn Racz. Yeah, I'm half Japanese, half white. Yeah.
You're Japanese?
Yeah, my mom was Japanese.
Why aren't you posting that you're the number one half Japanese? You should be claiming more podiums, Glenn.
Yeah. Sorry, you can't tell. I have the half Japanese, half a haole going on.
All right. Well, first of all, I just want to finish with my thoughts. So it's Cinco de Mayo. There's stuff going on everywhere. So I came here to the co-working place. That's why I'm so late, and I appreciate you guys' time and your patience. I just wanted to say that. But let me just say, I've talked to Glenn in person a bunch. We've talked on Instagram a bunch. I think I watched an entire 10-minute Spartan documentary on you, even. And somehow I did not know that piece of information. So either I'm a bad friend, or you never said it before, or is it both?
The latter.
Wasn't there like a Spartan documentary on you when Spartan was doing the TV series? Am I thinking of that correctly?
Right. Yeah. I think that was after a Boston race when I got on the podium in the old NBC races before the U.S. Championship Series even began. I think it was late 2014.
Right.
Yeah. Dating myself. Yeah.
So good on me for remembering that you were on that. And good on you for being champions. So I want to hear about this race. As I said in my post, I think both of you had finished on the podium before. Glenn, you had finished second before. Had you not?
Mm-hmm.
And you, Samantha?
No, it was my first elite podium.
I've never called you Samantha. That was so weird coming out. I'm like, that's her actual name.
You know, it's weird hearing people call me Samantha. It's at work, it's not, and maybe it didn't feel weird because I'm in the office. But usually, people don't call me that.
Right. So you had or you hadn't been on the podium before?
I just for age group, not for elite.
Yeah, there was somebody that raced with you had finished on the podium, and I'm sorry, I'm forgetting who it is.
Haley. Maybe?
Yes, Haley Brogan, I think. So let's talk about it. Samantha, what was your goal standing there on the start line? I was going to say in the morning, but they've moved to the afternoon. So on Saturday afternoon, what were your thoughts standing on the start line?
Just to run my own race. In the past, I feel like I've just gotten so caught up with kind of like what everyone else is doing. So just, kind of take it one step at a time, focus on the task at hand, and don't get too caught up in everything. And then also to not get any no reps from Dave. I was actually very nervous about the lunges and the burpees.
That was really your goal?
Yeah, I was really nervous. I hadn't done a DECA since he's been, kind of hammering down on the form and stuff. So I was pretty nervous about that.
You? Like, was he watching you as you were you in the lead the whole time?
Yes, until I got passed on the tank for a little bit, and then but besides that, I was in the lead the whole time. So I think he was watching me. But yeah, I don't actually
He's
know.
terrifying. Yeah, he's
Yeah.
terrifying. Mhm.
Yeah.
And then what about you, Glenn?
Just how the race went.
Oh, what's your thoughts were on the start line?
Oh, start line. Yeah, I was coming in with the fastest time PR wise, but yeah, I had just been happy after SoCal's performance where I just really pooped out at the end. I had to be happy to just hang on. I was hoping for first, but I never know these days. I'm kind of slowing down in my old age relative to what I've gotten in the last couple years. So yeah, I'm glad I just kind of held it together, and I was hoping just to hold it together.
Well, so what happened? What happened in SoCal?
Well, I felt like Grayson was by far like first place going into it, seat wise. But then I thought I was a solid second seat, and then Chaz Hatton and Aaron Nolan, who I know, fellow SoCal guys who I race with a lot, they were seated third and fourth. It was supposed to be around a minute behind me relative to our usual times, but Chaz caught me on the tank, and we were about even running into the burpees, and he crushed me by like 10 or 15 seconds on the burpees, and I got third. And Aaron Nolan was only zero point 0.2 seconds behind me in fourth, and so he almost passed me too, and he was even further behind. So I've just been really crumbling on the last latter stages of the race, and so that was kind of haunting me. It kind of sucks. I hurt my shoulder doing pickleball last year, and I'm been a real lazy ass doing any rehab and fixing. So I've just kind of been holding it off, and I haven't really been able to do burpees well. And I got like 10 other great excuses, but I'll just let it be for now and just say that I have been kind of blowing it at the end of these races.
And we're talking about the Spartan stuff. Do you still want to race half a dozen times a year doing Spartans?
Oh, like the regular Spartans that don't pay any prize money? Uh, Here's my answer. No, I'm, it's all about the money. But no, that didn't help for sure. 500, 200, 100 for podium. That's great. That'll get me to drive a few hours. But nowadays they give a free entry, but I'm only going to do like Paula, an LA stadium race, or if there's something close to San Diego, I'll drive like an hour.
But I feel like they stopped paying the regular races a few years ago, no?
Right. Once they stopped doing that, I didn't do any unless I got like a free entry and I could get the kids to come and they could do a race for free.
Then how come I feel like
this year they stopped doing kids races for free too this year?
They wouldn't even give you a free kids race?
Trey Morgan and I, we ran into that beginning of this year. They kind of gave us heads up at the end of last year. They kind of give you a little bit of a hard time, but we were able to swing it. But we got a couple kids each who could do it. But we at the SoCal race in January, they made us pay for both of our kids to do each race this year. First time I haven't started in 2014. All the kids races for free. I probably got like 50 free kids races over the years for all my kids, except my youngest have done it. So I can't complain too much because they've been really generous for that. But yeah, first time ever having to pay.
I would say they've gotten their value back with you and Faye in being good ambassadors for the sport, posting all the time. You've probably brought plenty of people to it. So I would say, if anybody at Spartan would listen to me, I would say, yeah, you might give these two guys that have been coming to your race for over a decade, like let their kids race for free. Like it's not, you give away a shirt and a medal and it's pretty low cost.
Yeah. Right. Especially Faye.
But no, even though you said they stopped paying, I was saying, I feel like I still see you and Faye. I honestly am always surprised because Faye is always great about sending me the pictures. And so I'm always like, oh shit, there was another SoCal race. Oh shit, there was another because there's so many, right? Throughout the year.
Yeah. Right.
And so I feel like up until this year, you guys were always still going a few times a year.
Yeah. It's when they're convenient and then the kids can go. It's like, it makes it a great experience. I won't even mind paying for kids, because it is nice and able to kind of usually swing a free entry. So yeah, low cost when it's a low cost and it doesn't take too much out of the day, it makes it easy to do. And if Faye's it's kind of fun to meet up with her and her family. So yeah, and a lot of other friends, throughout the years. It's kind of cool seeing people too, other local guys who can do the races. So still have that, but yeah, it's just like it's a pretty. I won't drive any too far though. You know, it doesn't. There's no value in there for me. But doing the DECAs, yeah, that's cool. They'll still pay 1,500, 250 for now, and so I'll fly to Sacramento for a couple $100 and go for it. So, yep.
And so how has your training changed over the last couple of years?
Oh, you mean transitioning from like OCR to DECA?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just a complete. Started in DECA in 2022, and that's right when they stopped paying, I think, for the Spartan. So that worked out for the Spartan regular OCR race. So I'm like, okay, well, I'll go where the money is, and I'll whatever incentive to do it. And so then that's where, yeah, just made the switch there, kind of tore down all my backyard Spartan obstacles, and got the basketball hoop for the kid, and just bought a skier, rower, assault bike, and it's not too high cost, and kind of have it for the rest of the family too that can use. So I just kind of made that transition, and so over the years, kind of I buy like one piece of equipment per year. You know, if I podium a race, I could justify buying one more thing. I say, I don't know about you, Samantha, but yeah, that makes it nice. It can kind of pay a little bit for itself.
Do you have a garage for it, or you just, because it never rains there, you're fine having it outside?
Oh yeah, we need a garage for it. It gets all sunny, and that would F up all the stuff in the backyard. So yeah, got to keep in the garage.
What's your home gym setup, Moose?
It's in our garage. We've got a lot of stuff. It like started with just an echo bike, and now it's like a motorized treadmill, an assault runner, an echo bike, a rower, a skier. We just bought a sled, or we ordered it, so it's not here yet. But the prize money definitely helps justify the sled purchase.
Is it the center sled?
It is the center sled.
Nice.
Yeah. They actually had like the cheapest delivery costs of all of the sleds I was looking at. So
I think all things being equal, they are actually the best value, I think.
Yeah.
It's not like we're splurging on the center. The center's got it figured out.
Exactly. And they offer 15% discount for first responders, and my husband's a firefighter, so
Oh, nice.
there you go. Mhm.
There you go. Well, and what town are you in?
I'm in Lincoln. It's like 45 minutes outside of Sacramento.
Okay. Does he get sent down when like the really bad fires happen because they need so much help?
His department will get sent down. He didn't get sent down because how it works is like when they send out the strike teams, if you're at the station when they send it out, then you can go. But for like the most recent fires that happened down south, they got sent out, I think, like the day after he came home. So he didn't go.
So how many days is he on and off?
He's on 2, off 4, and then he picks up overtime.
But but those fires went on forever, so I would think it wouldn't matter who was on when it got called. No.
Yeah, when you get I mean, to an extent, yeah. So like when they have those, the schedule kind of changes. So when you go on those, I think you're on for 24, off for 24, but you stay down in like little bunkers that they kind of have down there. They have like these trailers with the cots in them and stuff.
Right.
So.
Yeah. So I keep looking at equipment, checking the Facebook groups, the Facebook for sales, and then sometimes it's just too fucking far for me to drive. But one of these days I'll probably do it. But I also I have to build something. Like I have to build a whole fucking lean-to, because it rains a lot here. We have weather, and we don't have a garage. So that's the thing that's keep me in having a gym membership, is having to have a to get that stuff. But I don't know. At some point it will. I'd love to have a skier at my house. I think that'd be amazing.
And those are kind of a low footprint. You can kind of stick those anywhere. It's the other stuff that takes up a little bit of room, like setting up a spot for a sled. You have to have a length to be able to do that.
Right.
Yeah.
And so, and what line of work are you in, Samantha?
I'm a structural engineer.
And what does that mean? You make sure the the structure has proper engineering?
Yeah, basically. I make sure that, like buildings and things don't fall down when they put them up.
Do you
So
know?
she could build your building in the backyard. It would
Yeah,
work.
I could
Can
help
I
you
say,
out.
could you send me some plans?
So I actually don't do any of the drafting for the plans. I send that off to someone else, but I do all the math behind it and like, tell the drafters like what size certain members need to be and all that. I make the models and run like the seismic loading on things. So,
Sure, seismic loading, absolutely. Do you
yeah.
know? Do you know what's his name?
Say yes.
Just say yeah.
Yeah.
So somebody, and I can't think of it. Somebody flies all over making sure the structures are solid. It's what's his name? Canadian kid. What's his name?
Isaac Sanderson.
Isaac Sanderson. There you go. I was going to say
Oh.
someone from the chat could tell me, but no one's on because they forgot we're doing the live show because it's new.
They
But
didn't
Glenn, you're on the
care.
chat sometimes. So Isaac, yes, that's what Isaac does. He flies around to make sure stuff's sound.
And all
that's
the
cool.
engineers know each other. So
Well, certainly all the hybrid ones do.
that's probably true. There's probably some truth to that. I have a question for Samantha. I have some questions for these
Yes,
guys.
Cheryl, fire
All
away,
right.
please.
Samantha, what is your athletic background?
So I was a sprinter in high school, like 100-meter, 200-meter runner. Anything further than 200 meters was, I considered it distance running. And then I didn't do anything after high school until I found the gym again. Like once I graduated college and got a job, I was like, oh man, like, being an engineer, you sit on your butt a lot. Like I need to do something. So I found a gym and then, fell in love with working out again. And I didn't start competing in like, I think Spartan races until like 2019. Just doing age group stuff. And then that's kind of how I found DECA and HYROX.
So you started in Spartan like Glenn.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Just didn't do it for as long and just did like age group and then open for fun.
Right. Gotcha. So, so what made you decide to jump over to hybrid? Do you like it better? Like, is it?
Yeah, I do. I like running, like it's fun, but I think with my background being more of like a power and strength kind of athlete, I felt like the hybrid style just like suited my strengths better. I'm not the fastest runner. And I'm not the strongest person either. So it's like, I feel like being able to do both of those things and have like the endurance in it really kind of just like matched my strengths.
Mm-hmm.
So I figured I would just try it out. I think I did my first DECA in NorCal 2023, I think.
It might have been there. I should look that
Oh
up.
yeah.
Yeah, that was one of my first ones too. It was not a lot of people. And so I placed really high. There weren't a lot of people there. I was really excited about that. Yeah. So
yeah. And I did it and I was like, okay, I think if I train for this, I could be decent at it. And I met Lauren Weeks there for the first time. I was like fangirling because I had watched her on Spartan games. And fun fact, our kids are born on the same day.
Oh, how fun. You have a girl or a boy?
A boy.
Oh, nice. Oh, they could be friends. That would be great.
Yeah.
Did you start elite or did you race age group for a while?
For hybrid, I started elite.
Okay.
I did do age group one time when I was pregnant, as I was like, I was like, 7 months pregnant. I was like, I'm not gonna run with those girls. But yeah, so my first one, I was like, I'm gonna sign up for elite. Why not? I'll see where I am and then go from there.
Cool. So Glenn, I'm just wondering, I just have one more question, then Matt, I'll let you so Glenn, for you, Spartan versus DECA, I mean, what are you happy to do? All things equal.
Oh, all things equal.
Yeah, like not money, not, you know what I mean? Like, what would you prefer to do? What would you prefer to train for?
Well, after these last few DECA fits I've been doing, I'm like, oh man, it's yeah, I won this last event, but and I'm super. The guys are great and the great competition and everything. But just for me personally, it was I've been having like pretty poor results lately relative to what I've done last year and the year before. So I prefer to go back to Spartan as far as that feel like I could be more competitive.
Glenn, just do HYROX. It's way easier.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I heard that's I could kind of drop down from DECA and just try those easy. You run so much slower in HYROX. It's a sin.
What,
You know,
do you have
actually
do you have an
do.
automatic light that's because it's still dark?
Yeah, my laptop was giving me some light action here. Hopefully that'll
There we
help.
go.
There you go. We can
There
see
we
you
go.
now. I will say, I do think that HYROX lends itself better to aging athletes. I think that there's not that high-end anaerobic stuff going on as much. You can kind of grind it out. I think that there's a little more longevity there. That's my opinion.
Well, I just want Glenn to tell Cheryl in the audience why I made that joke, though, because I do need to bust your balls about this, Glenn.
Go.
Yeah, who is it with? Or after like someone in like Isaac was saying at one point at a HYROX after he did a DECA, Isaac Sanderson was saying, "Oh man, yeah, these HYROXes are pretty. They're harder than the DECA." And then I made a comment, kind of cheeky comment about how, well, it's what was it? It was like, oh yeah, well, it's harder, but it's you're not, are they really harder because your intensity is higher at DECA? And then I kind of it sparked Matt B. Davis to chime in. So I'm like, are they really harder? But I've changed my mind since then. I do think that HYROX is significantly harder, and there's a lot more people doing them, so it's more competitive these days too. But alas.
Well, I do want to point out, because I was going to bring this up anyway and ask you guys about Vibe and whatnot. So year one was San Jose, 407 people. Last year, Sacramento, a slight jump to 510, but then 2024, we jumped to 629. And then this year, now things are cooking. They more than doubled it. 1163. Last week was 1264, or last time in SoCal. So it looks like we're finally getting some real buy-in. Hey, this isn't just the Spartan crowd. Now, again, far cry from HYROX, but still, I was thrilled to see that they've doubled their race last year and this year. Was it noticeable? Did it feel more crowded? I know that you guys, those of us that always go, we're always gonna have a good time. 8 people or 8,000. We know a bunch of people, et cetera, et cetera. But I want to know what it felt like on the ground, Samantha.
Yeah, I think you could definitely tell that there was more people there, especially during, like the age group waves. I was watching my husband and his brother and some friends go, and it was pretty crowded out there. And obviously not as crowded as a HYROX, but compared to past DECAs, I was excited that there was that, more people there. Definitely. I think, the vibes were good. People were excited. People were having a great time. So yeah, I'm happy that the numbers are jumping up. That's awesome for them.
And what about you, Glenn?
Yeah, they might keep that prize money another year, maybe. No, sorry. You see a theme? No, it did seem like there's a lot of teams, a lot more like so previous years I would probably like take off right after the race and not stick around. Typically don't volunteer. I'm really selfish in that manner, but it would be it was noticeable this time because I hung around because my flight wasn't until later, and I volunteered on the assault bike, but I got to see a lot of people coming through with the teams there, and that's more than I'm used to. So yeah, good.
That's a tough gig on the assault bike. You got to press that start button and say
You
go.
gotta seats. You got to readjust the seats every time.
Yeah, you got.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Put the seats back down.
No, listen, I'm thank you, by the way. We need more volunteers, and people have said they heard the show and it got them to volunteer. So good job, Cheryl. Good job, Dave, for pushing it. My buddy Matt Punton signed up to volunteer because he heard it on the show. So did what's his name, who always chimes in. I forget his name. Sorry. I'm sure
Matt
you're
Kemp was
listening.
really pushing it too. And so, yeah, I think there was people.
Yeah, Matt Kemp does it.
People heard him for sure.
So thanks for doing that. Thanks for
But it probably helped though that you guys raced at 2:15 in the afternoon too. Like you guys usually first out of the gate, nobody's there yet, or they're just kind of warming up. And so that had to feel a little different having everybody there being able to watch you.
Yeah, I think there was a lot more people there watching the elite waves than there has been in the past with it being in the morning. At least it seemed like it. I don't know if they're doing that on purpose now to try to get more people to watch it.
I think so. I think it was pretty sad to watch an empty building with people running around. So I don't think that was the worst idea either.
Yeah, that's what they said. That was one of the reasons why they pushed the elites back to be more. I think HYROX might have been doing that already.
Yeah, HYROX has always done that. Yeah.
So yeah.
I think it's changed the culture. I think we came from a racing background where everybody starts their half marathon or their Spartan at 7:30 in the morning. And so we thought that's what we had to do for hybrid, and we don't. We can do it whenever we want because it's indoors. And I actually think later in the day works a lot better for people.
I agree. I remember disagreeing when they first started. I thought, there's more people on the course and they shouldn't do it. But now, I would never change it. Afternoon's the way to go for sure. They could make it a little bit. HYROX go a little bit earlier, right? We watched the Miami Men's Pro go at fucking whatever it was. I mean, come on, man. Some of us have got some gray in our hair, Glenn.
Yeah.
Not easy. I signed up for the 7:30 a.m. wave in SoCal. Huge mistake.
Oh my
you just think, oh, that's what you do. No, you don't do that anymore. It was just an enormous mistake. I will never do that again.
No, even, Stacy and I, it was great. We had a 10:40 wave. It's like you get up at a normal time, 7, right? Yeah. Have your coffee, have your bathroom break, drive there, stretch out. 10:40? Are you kidding me? Dream.
Yeah.
I mean, 9:30 is probably perfect, but I'll take 10:40.
Absolutely. So good. That's good.
So, Glenn, I know you're a big fan of the show. You've heard my woes. You've heard my injuries. I do now a fair amount of stretching. How much is your pre-race stretch? If you're racing at 1, what time did your stretch and jog, get your heart rate up routine go?
Yeah, it's usually like 45 minutes out. I'll start. So I guess if my race is at 1 at like 12:15, you start doing a jog. And then by like half an hour before, all to 20 minutes before, I'll like do the dynamic stretches. So there's like a series of like high knees and butt kickers and karaoke's and toy soldiers, all sorts of fun names that the track folks make.
Got your A skips and your B skips in there?
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, exactly. Those kind of things. About 10 to 20 minutes prior, it'll be those. And then like 4 sprints, little strides, I guess, little 10-second fast runs to kind of get everything rolling. So that's what it looks like for me.
How different is it from Spartan 2012?
Yeah. It's actually, that part of it's the same. Like before the race compared to the old 32-year-old Glenn versus the 45-year-old Glenn that there is now. Pre-race is the same. It's after the race that's really changed for me, where I need at this point now, after I've had like, it seems like almost every like leg or foot injury in the book, like not necessarily immediately after the race, but at night, almost every night, even when I'm just doing like an easy day, especially after races, I'll do a whole series of like hip stretching, some foam rolling, and a few like core type stretches that usually take between like 10 or 15 minutes. And then now with my shoulder injury, I'm doing some like shoulder rehab, and that's another 10 minutes or so. And so yeah, it's just basically every day now that there's like at this point, like a 20-minute routine.
Yeah, I got some bad news for the young men out there. As a 53-year-old married man, whose wife is of a similar age and also extremely fit, nighttime is not for sex. It's a lot of stretching. we're in bed watching TV. My wife's on the floor using the foam roller. I got this gun, right? The great what the fuck's it called?
The Hyper
Also
Ice
what
or
happened-
whatever.
No, not Hyper Ice. The original. Come on, Theragun.
Okay.
I got my Theragun. I got some amazing, the standard straps, right? We lost the blue one the other day, so yesterday I had to use the yellow one. I was very upset about that, but just lots of stretching while I'm watching television. That's those are my evenings now. So sorry, young men of 20s and 30s. That's what happens when you get older.
Amen.
It's a different kind of love.
Well, I got a couple of other topics. If we're done talking about our DEKA, do we have any more questions on the local DEKA?
I got a couple of questions for the local DEKA. So
Okay.
I'm looking at your finish times. It looked like, I mean, Glenn, you said that you had not been pleased with your finish in SoCal. How did your finish in NorCal compare? Because I'm seeing like a 14-second, like it was not easy.
Yeah, you mean like, well, I got like 14 seconds slower in NorCal relative to SoCal this year.
No, I'm seeing that you beat your competition by 14 seconds.
Okay. Yeah, that's true. But if you look at the overall times, I was, I think 13 seconds slower, 32:10, and now I was 32:23 or so. So yeah, so it's relative. Again, I'm stoked that I was able to at least, pull away with the first, but
Different
and
feel.
great competition. He almost caught me at the end, but as far as overall, I'm going in at bat the poor trajectory in terms of my finish times. I've looked at my last 7 races since World Champs 2023 till now. Every single one of my DEKA Fit races, starting with a 30:50 a year and a half ago, and then it went 30:59, 31 and up until now, every single race I'm doing worse, and about anywhere between 10 to 15 seconds worse each race until now. And there's a bit of
But
a
see,
trend
that's
there.
the reason alone to race HYROX, okay? Because their learning curve is much steeper, so you can just tick off times as you do HYROX instead of getting worse in DEKA.
Yeah, what are you going to do with this information?
A lot. One thing is I'm actually looking into investing in finding a coach. I haven't done that in a long time, but so yeah, I'm looking. I have a few ideas because I'm trying to find someone who has some experience in the hybrid world, as well as they're kind of been around the block, who they with injuries, so they could relate with the injuries I have, because that's a big limiter in my case. And so that's part of it. And I'm also I like to do a lot of my own
basically.
research too. Go ahead.
So
What?
me, got experience in OCR, lots of injuries. I think I'm pretty perfect.
Yeah. All right. Okay. I'll have to put you on the list. We'll see.
I'm gonna, and you know what? I'm gonna give you favorable rates.
Okay. We'll see. And, last thing, you got to be an elite athlete. Is that?
What? I have 2 flags. What's your minimum flag amount?
Okay. Oh, you're on the list. All right.
I mean, what else do you need?
Yeah, it was 2 flags or more. So yeah, you qualify.
Oh yes, I just made it. Well, Cheryl and I were going to say Rich. I don't know how often he's been hurt, but I think Cheryl and I were both going to say Rich. Would you agree, Cheryl?
Oh, of course, I love Rich. I would also say Bracken's got some injuries. Bracken would be.
He doesn't race anymore, though. Bracken's at home.
He knows.
Rich is out there doing it.
So
Rich is out there doing it.
Rich is definitely out there doing it. But Samantha's with Lauren and Anthony, right?
Yeah, I'm doing that hybrid engine.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, right? So they would not be bad either. They would not be bad either. I like the fact that, isn't it kind of fun that you come up against something and you're like, okay, well, I'm just going to get you've got a plan. I love that. Like, who knows what'll happen with that, right? That'll be great.
And I also like the hybrid engine. I just forgot that you were on them. I got so excited to talk about Rich.
Yeah. So, and then Samantha, your finish 8 seconds back was your that would scare me to death.
It was scary. It was really scary. I had a pretty decent lead, and then I felt myself like kind of tiring out after the farmer carry, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I have to go into the bike, which is like, I'm gonna die. I hate the bike. And I have an Echo bike at home, and I always put the seat up to 4. So when I went in and ran into the bike, I set it to a 4 and I got on, and it is not the same as the Echo bike. So everyone's yelling at me, but I can't really hear what everyone's yelling.
What were they
So
yelling?
Lift your seat up, lift your seat up.
Too low,
Like
too low.
it was too low, but I'm not gonna get off once I've started going. So um I lost some time there, and Shannon, she's a great athlete and great racer. She made up some ground on the bike, and then I am a big fan of the Puma DV8 Elites. I wear them in HYROX, and I think they're great. So that's what I wore for my race this time. They are not great for the tank. I was slipping and sliding. I had no traction. I think she made up like 30 seconds on me at the tank. So she came out of the tank in first. Um, and I had to run her down, and we got into burpees. I think she had like 2 or 3 reps ahead of, like, by the time I got there, and I just burpeed as fast as I possibly could, and then
Wow.
passed her and crossed the finish line.
That's a good story. Nice job.
Thank you.
How worried were you when you had to run her down?
I was a little worried, especially in the tank, once I heard that she was like half the length behind me, and I was like flipping all over the place. And are the tanks new again? They swivel, and I do not remember them doing that.
The little shopping carts now, they got the little wobbly wheels. You gotta, they're terrible.
So
In
I would try
honor of the first DEKA that took place in a broken down Kmart. That's why they got the wobbly wheels now.
Yeah, exactly. I was trying to like go flat-footed to like get more traction, and when I did that, the tank would like wobble, and I'm like, oh my gosh, it looks like I'm drunk driving right now or something. And anyway, yeah, I was really nervous, and I was like, I just gotta give it everything I got and hopefully catch her.
And you did.
Yeah.
Nice
But
job.
I'm saying, like, when you thought, did you know, like, okay, I think I'm faster than this person, and I should be able to catch up?
No, I didn't, because she's a pretty good runner. I think if you look at the splits, our run split was like maybe 2 seconds apart. So I thought when she was out that she probably was gonna get first. I didn't know how quickly she was gonna do burpees. So yeah, I was like, all right, well, I still got on the podium, so that's fun.
And then you passed her on the burpees. That's pretty
Mhm.
impressive. Yeah. Nice. What a great experience.
Yeah, it was exciting and stressful and fun. It was a great way to end the race. It's fun to have like close race like that.
So
For
what
sure.
is your race plan for the next few months?
HYROX Worlds in June.
Let's go.
Mhm. And that's all I've got so far.
How many categories are you going for?
Just the individual, with just women's pro.
You didn't do any doubles this year?
Me and my husband did doubles in Vegas. Next to you and Cheryl at the wall balls. I don't know if you remember that.
We were talking about that. Yeah, they were next to us when we were doing the wall balls. And
I think I blacked out.
well, yeah, how do we possibly pay attention when we're just trying to get it done? But they were there.
I know. Yeah. So that was the only doubles that we did, and it was the second day. We both did our individual races the day before, and then everybody got sick after Vegas. So I think I was like already feeling sick. So it was not the greatest showing from me in a race. He definitely pulled me along in that. So we didn't qualify, but that was okay. It was just for fun.
Glenn, what do you have coming up?
Not much. No. I mean, there's not Austin DEKA Fit's not till September this year. Last year was in June. So, but it probably gives me, I need to kind of reevaluate everything, like I said, with like trying out a coach and trying some stuff out. My heart rate was super elevated, a little more elevated, especially in SoCal. I think it was because I drank some coffee before my race because I forgot my pre-race Perform Elite. And it's weird. I actually threw that out on Instagram, and I had a thing and say, hey guys, any thoughts? Like my normal heart rate, I showed both graphs. I'm an engineer too, Moose, so I
Oh,
like
nice.
geeking out to the
Do you know
numbers.
what's his name?
What's up?
Do you know what's his name?
Who?
Of course he does. All
Isaac?
engineers know.
I'm buddies with Brendan King too. He's the best.
Oh,
But,
Brendan's the real. He's like super secret government engineer.
oh yeah.
I don't even know where he is. He messages me. He's like, I can't tell you where I am, but
Oh yeah. Yeah, he's great. But it's threw it out there to like say what do you guys think? Like why I compared last year's heart rate or previous DEKA Fit to this one, and it was just I was already almost maxing out heart rate by the time I got to the rower, and it was really weird. And it was good. Actually, that's where I was kind of like throwing out the fishing rod to see if any coaches were had any thoughts. And hey, I might pick you. And actually, that did help for a couple different guys. But and thank you for your suggestions too, because I'm definitely a couple of those folks you mentioned. I'm actually going to be reaching out to. So, but it's good to get different feedback because it could have been everywhere from could have been a lot of things. But anyway, I could keep going on a rabbit hole talking about all the ways how that race, how I've been frustrated and trying to figure out this whole puzzle of like not performing as well, because who knows, maybe that heart rate data is just a red herring, and that's not, it was just the data was bad for some reason, and that's not a reason why I should be a minute and 10 seconds slower than last year. For both SoCal and NorCal, I was over a minute slower, but like it's weird. I don't know. It's hard to explain because I ran the same 5K 2 weeks before SoCal, and I had the exact same time. I got 15:53 on the same 5K race both years. So it's weird because like that's showing my fitness is good, but apparently my hybrid fitness sucks balls right now. It's just like, what the hell? So I'm doing something wrong. So I need a coach to get my ass straight, because I don't know. It's real. It's interesting, or because then you're like, oh, was it something else? Maybe I was sick, but no, I didn't. So yeah, it's trying to keep figuring out this thing. Maybe I'm just old, and father time is taking its toll on me. So, but we'll see. I don't know. So
Let's
anyway,
hope
I don't
not.
even know what
I
the
don't think
question
that's-
was at this point, but
I was just asking what you have coming up.
yeah, there you go.
He's
So-
got Austin. I'll see you in Austin.
All right.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
So, on my birthday, it just worked out timing wise, which was April 5th. I ran a 5K, and it's this cemetery race that we'd done before, and it was in the morning, but this year they did it in the afternoon, and it was extremely hot, and I ran a slower 5K than I've ever run. So let's just say more than double your time, Glenn.
Can I just clarify? You said this race was in a cemetery?
Well, it's around a cemetery. It's like you don't run on the graves. It's called Run Like Hell. It's a place called Oakland Cemetery. Those of you who are interested in this kind of stuff, you can Google it. They do events all year because it's this famous historic cemetery and blah, blah, blah.
Okay.
So anyway, it was 3 loops, and it's pretty hilly, and I finished in 32 minutes, and that was slower than I'd ever run in my life, right? And it was a spiritual bottom for me, and I started eating clean again, which I've gone up and down a lot lately. But this was like, okay, like that fucking sucked. I walked a ton. I was like, this is enough is enough. So we scheduled another 5K for this Saturday that Clayton and I did together. And also as hilly, by the way. The guy kept saying in the description, this is really hilly, but I always think like hilly to a 5K person is not the same as 5K to a hilly to an OCR person, right? Like we're so used to trail that, a hill, I had to do a hill, that hill sucked, and it's like, what are you talking about? But it was I think 200 over the 5K, right? Some pretty big hills. Anyway, so I beat my time by 6 minutes, so I was thrilled.
Woo!
and massive confidence
Nice
builder. Like,
job.
okay, I'm not dead yet. And like, again, it's nowhere near my PR, but just to take that much time off was like, okay, like I've got lots of work to do, but
Right.
but it was you know, I've really struggled I never had an issue with food at all. Like I started OCR at 40, and at that time I was like just your typical like mesomorph. I never gained weight, I never lost weight. I was like a 175-pound guy always. Maybe made it get to 180, maybe, right? And then ran all those years, kept the weight off, and then boom, it like hit me hard, right? At 48 or whatever it was. And like now, like I don't run ultras anymore, and I'm not running it off. And I've had a lot of troubles. And then guess it was a year ago, I was on the show with Dave, and I was like, all right, I've solved the problem. I'm just eating nothing. And he's like, I don't think that's sustainable. And I was like, I don't know what he's talking about. I've done it 2 weeks in a row. He was correct. It was not sustainable. So thanks to my amazing wife and ChatGPT, I just put everything in there. Everything I eat, I just put it in there. And I go, give me an update on my calories and my macros. And it goes, here's what they are. And I go, cool. I'm going to have a snack. Here's what I got at home. What do you think? And it's like, you're still short on protein. Have a little bit more protein. Like all the stuff that my wife knows and I would bug her for, but now I just do it in ChatGPT, and it's amazing. And I've been super diligent. Like I'm not someone, some people like I can't do a cheat meal unless it's after a race. That's about the only time I'll allow myself, right? At least until I get really back where I need to go. So I'm eating super clean, and the weight's coming off. And I'm super happy about that. So I decided I'm going to just do this once a month now, I think, for a while. I'm just going to keep scheduling it because it's right. There's always 5Ks, right? There's like 30 a weekend. I mean, I might also want to put some run training in there, but in the meantime, I just want to, just because it's kind of a stupid, fun test, right? Like, why not? Like, you get up, you go, you do it. It's early. The day's over. You can still do a bunch of other shit, right?
What do you guys think about racing regularly like that? Do you think that helps?
I don't know. I used to think it did. I guess it just depends on what you want to get out of it. Like if you're wanting to go and like, for a 5K, you're gonna go and probably run that anyway. That's not like a far distance. But as far as like doing HYROXes often or like more intensive efforts, probably not. I think it could take a lot on or put a lot of stress on your central nervous system. And I think I've felt that after a couple of races where I've put a really hard effort forward and it takes like several days to recover from it. So in the past I've like wanted to race often, but I'm kind of trying to go the opposite way now.
So I think I like the distinction you're making, because I do think like a regular 5K where you're with a lot of people, you're probably going to push yourself harder than if you were just running a 5K that day on your own. Would be a really good idea. But those beat down races, on a regular basis, are going to take it out of you.
I pushed myself certainly a lot harder than I pushed doing the HYROX with my wife. So it was a very, very, very different experience.
Yeah.
But I wanted to tell you that about 2 weeks ago, as I was like starting to lose weight, I'm like, I'm due for some new clothes. I'm going to buy clothes. And like I've worn 32s like my whole life pretty much, right? But I like some stuff's getting tighter on me, right? Because again, I need some weight to lose. So I go try these pants on, and they're 32s, and I'm like, these are a little tight, but I'm not fucking buying 34s. Like I'm losing weight every week, so I'm not buying 34s.
Right.
And it honestly didn't occur to me that to buy a 33. In my mind, I think they went up by 2s. But I buy these pants and I wear them a few times, and they're like these what do you call them? Not khakis, chinos, right? Okay. And they're pretty comfy. And then the other day I was wearing them, and I bent down to pick something up, and they ripped. All right. Now I go take them back to the store. Okay. And what do you think is the worst thing to say to a person if they come back to a store and say, hey, I just bought these pants and they ripped? What's like the worst thing you could say to that person?
Oh gosh.
Fat for them.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. even though that's what you're thinking, right? But this young woman of about 20 was like, well, were they too small?
Oh my God.
Just straight said it to me. And I'm like, yeah, I don't think so. I wore them a few times, and then the time I wore them, and like, we're talking like they didn't just split, like they split. You know what I mean? Like it went when it went. So she was like, I was like, all I can tell you is I wore them twice and they were fine. They're the third time. Had she said something else, I might have made a joke about it. But once she basically said the worst thing you could say to me, it's like, fuck that. Like, I'm not. And then she was like, well, do you want to try some 33s? And I was like, yeah, you can just go get me those. Sure. Okay. So that's what I'm wearing right now. Now they're 33s. But they're already too loose on me. It's been another week and they're already too loose on me. So what can I tell you? I was right the first time.
I've
You just
had
need a couple more weeks.
What's that?
You just needed a couple more weeks, maybe.
But do you think there's training in the Levi store? If a man or a woman comes in and says these ripped, you don't say you were too fucking fat for them, sir. You bought the wrong size.
I feel like that's just basic customer service.
I think
That's what I'm saying.
don't make me say kids these days, but I've had a few incidents, right, where these poor kids, they just don't know how to do their job, right? Like they don't know. I don't think she has a clue what she was saying to you.
Yeah, maybe.
I don't know. I didn't like her attitude.
Well,
She didn't want to give me the refund either because I didn't have a receipt. And I was like, ma'am, no man has ever saved a receipt in his life. Like, that I got the thing. She's like, do you have the tags? I'm like, you think I saved the tags? Like, like almost any store now, it's like, what card did you use? Right? Just show us the card. Right. And I said, ma'am, you want me to open my bank fucking thing? And then you guys would be very proud of me because she said, let me go ask somebody. And she asked somebody and they came back and they said, well, our manager's not here today and she's the one that can approve it. And old me would have probably made a bigger stink, but I go, you know what? I'll come back. Now in my mind, I'm not coming back more than once.
Right.
When I come back, you're going to fucking give me the pants. So the second time I came back, and I don't know if she was the manager or not, but I said, those pants are like, I could see my name on them. Yeah. Anyway, I was like, here's a B of A statement that says I bought pants at your fucking store.
Give me the pants.
Give me my goddamn pants.
You're going to need to get a relationship with a tailor. And I'm not kidding.
Well, listen, like I said, I'm in the comfort plus / business class stage of my life. I'm not quite first class. I'm not know if I'm ready for a tailor yet, but just buying new clothes. Listen, I haven't bought new clothes for myself in at least a decade, dude. I have a wife, right? She buys me stuff. She knows I'm not a big fashion guy. So my birthday, Hanukkah, Christmas, I get a few things, but just me out buying stuff is a massive, because I've been wearing free t-shirts for 12 years. You know what I mean?
I do know what you mean.
Right, Glenn? You know what I mean? So I'm shopping for myself. It's a new day for me.
Ditto.
Right?
Yeah, I know. Figuring out what the shirts to get at Costco now, because I have to wear something for work, because I have to go into the office now once in a while.
Right? Because you've been working from home forever?
Yeah, and I recently got a new job, so it's a little more like making sure I have a polo or something going in. So I'm kind of taking a page out of the Matt B. Davis, like clean up the look a little.
Right?
Get a collar or two.
Oops, sorry about that.
Very nice. Oh, we got to get.
Let's go look at your collar.
Showcasing the shirt.
That's slick. Well, are we ready to move on to some HYROX chat?
Always.
Yes.
All right.
I will say one more thing. The DEKA Ultra, I don't know if you guys followed it yesterday, but I followed it because I knew some people that were competing. And the top guy, Edward, what's his name? I don't want to. Edward Korat. Do we know this fella? I don't know if I've met him yet, but anyway, he did great. And then 2, 3, and 4, it came down to burpees. In the Ultra, there was like a minute or less between those guys. What a great finish. I'm just really impressed with all of them. So good job.
Yeah, that's amazing. I would not want to do 100 burpees with a 44-pound ram, that's for sure.
Yeah. So they do 5 DEKAs, and they're all basically in the burpee station at the very end, finishing up is really what it looked like. Yeah. Really
Yeesh.
incredible. Yeah.
All right. Well, I want to talk about the competition. I want to talk about the competition in London. But before I do, there's an issue that I wanted to bring up. And I may get it wrong. So I want to make sure I kind of look it up. And I think he posted about it. Let me find it. So Taylor Haney messaged me because he qualified for doubles with his race partner, and then he qualified again at another race. The person he qualified with the first time is hurt and can no longer race. And he's like, that's no big deal. I'll just race with this person that I also qualified with. And they said, no, you can't do that. And he said, but it is several weeks away and I'm allowing you to give up the spot. So what is the problem? And I don't know what the problem is either. And it seems like a very silly thing to not do, because again, we know these things happen. And he's not just saying, hey, let me bring in a ringer, right? He's not just saying like, oh, this person doesn't want to go, or like he actually did in fact win again in another city with someone else and they won't let him do it. So I think it's something that I wanted to say, like, I think he's getting screwed. And I think it's very unfortunate. I don't know if anybody else has tried to switch partners or anything with doubles, but what a raw deal.
So you're saying that he qualified with one partner.
Yeah, I think a female. I think it was a female.
Okay, so in mixed doubles, he qualified.
Right.
And then he qualified with another partner in another race, and they're not sending him the email to
because he already qualified.
So, okay. So because he already qualified, that new partner is kind of out of luck, because then they won't get to race together. He can only race with the first partner.
Correct.
Yeah, who can't do it anymore.
Who can't, and they won't let him, and so they're not letting him put this other partner in.
Correct.
Okay.
Second one's mixed doubles also.
Yeah. It's same thing, same gender. So yeah, I just think like HYROX does so many things right, and then the people are having a lot of issues with customer service issues. Like I've heard in the past, people have said they emailed just to switch partners for a regular race, and they couldn't hear back. And the unspoken rule has been, if you just show up to pre-reg on Friday and you ask nicely, they'll do it, right? Even though the rules say you can't, because again, especially relay, which is 4 people, right? It's like, if you've traveled to a race, wouldn't it be insane to not let the other 3 people race? But again, I understand that like, even if you charge $25 for it, like, why not? Right? Like, hey, new partner, $25 for us to do it or whatever. But it just seems like some of their choices, like apparently you're not going to be able to do that at all unless you buy that new, the way they're doing it now, the new flex ticket, as it were. If you don't pay the extra $50 up front or whatever it is, you're not going to be able to switch anything, even relay.
Yeah. That's crazy.
Yeah. I told Taylor I'd talk about it. I don't know if there's anything to do about it, but I feel bad for him.
Well, I'm looking through the doubles rule book right now. And it used to be that, yeah, if it was the same age, like you could just switch somebody out. And I'm not even seeing that as an option anymore.
Yeah, I thought you didn't have to race with the same partner necessarily, right? Or was that
last year? I was a sub for like the doubles that I raced at Worlds. I had not qualified with her. We got in. She subbed me in, and that was not a problem. But I'm not seeing that in the rule book, and that may be just because I'm reading very quickly. But maybe they've just removed that because they don't want to deal with it.
Dude, I would even let you race with somebody if you both qualified and both your partners, like not just a flat out ringer, but hey, you qualified, sure. Like, why not? Like, just you've got the space. If you've got the space for it and you're not asking last minute, I don't see why not, other than it's an inconvenience on your end. But here's what else is interesting. So if you go to the HYROX help website, it'll say For this country, go here. For this country, go here. For the US, go here. And then when you go to the US, it's not even a US it's a form, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I want to, let's use a hypothetical example. Myself, my wife and I are still showing up in the women's doubles. Okay. So if I want to fix that, I have to go to a contact form where that's not even an option, right? And why should timing issues going to the same place as, a basic customer service issue or I need more information issue, like this for a company as big as them, they should have that a little bit better. And I hear plenty of people saying we don't hear back, and I think that's one of the reasons. They're sending it maybe to India or somewhere, and then it's just never making it through. So when I noticed several people, it's funny because if you hear in the podcast with me and Alondra, her and her partner were put in the wrong category, and then she won. They did qualify because they were second behind Tia and James, who had already qualified, but she was in the men's before, or the women's, whatever it was. And so I was too. I noticed other people were, and I was like, I'm not even going to send an email because it happens so much that they're just going to fix it. And that didn't happen. So I haven't been responded to. My results are still the same. I don't give a shit, but somebody might, right? Somebody really could care and should care, right? So I think that they got to get better at that stuff. There's no reason any timing thing should either go straight to Mika, or there's just a separate complete department. That's all they fucking handle, is the people that are like, hey, I finished 7th and I should be 5th, or I finished 3rd and I need to finish 1st because I earned my qualification. Like, this stuff matters to the racer experience.
Yes. I am seeing in the rule book that, if a doubles team member drops out, he or she can be replaced. It's just,
and I don't think that's okay. I think you should have to go with someone that qualified, but he's saying they're not letting him do anything. And he's really upset. He's bought the tickets and the hotel and all that stuff, right?
Well, and then this other person that he raced with is like kind of screwed over now too. Like, she worked hard, she qualified in this race, and now she doesn't get to do it because he qualified with someone else already. Like, it doesn't.
Well, and this is new because last year I was put in, I was going to be the replacement for my partner's former partner, but then we ran Anaheim and qualified in Anaheim, and I got the email, and we could have just registered together right then. And so they got new people doing the response, and new, they've got new criteria for when they're sending out the emails, and it's starting to screw some people over. I don't know how much they can get away with, given that we will show up at 9 p.m. to race a race. Like, we'll do whatever they want. And, we complain, but we still show up and we still pay the money. So it's tough when they're going to be that unresponsive to a handful of us. Unfortunately, I think we may be screwed.
Yeah. So his post is up if you want to read it. It says heartbreaking, disappointed, and I feel bad for him. And I think like I said, they do a lot of things right. This one seems like a miss. But I mean, we all bitch when they totally fucked up the timing and they went back to the old one. Thank God. Why they ever left again, it seems so silly. But like, when I'm given a doubles reg and it gives me the right time and I race in that time, right? There's very little place for me to get moved then into men's or women. I'm forgetting what it is now. And it happened to a lot of people. So again, some glitch, fix it, and then you don't. And again, like, I don't really care. And I think even if you type in my name, it comes up under mixed. But if you don't type in my name, I'm not in the, I come in as the 700th men's team instead of the 300th mixed team. But anyhow.
Right. They are starting to buckle under the weight of their own success.
Correct. I mean, Ian messaged me that it's so crowded over there. It's like not even pleasant. Like, he wanted to go watch his wife, and he was like, I don't know if I want to face that crowd again. Like, it's, you guys haven't seen crowds. If you haven't been over there, you haven't seen how bad it is. I mean, remember, I was at the Glasgow race, and it was more crowded on the Wednesday than I've been to any race here with a sold out venue, because their venues are so much smaller.
Well, and hence the new spectator policy that everybody's all upset about. And yet, what are they supposed to do? I mean, it's just basic crowd control. I don't know how they can get away with not trying to limit the number of people who show up.
Yeah, that one I don't have a problem with, and commented as much when people were like, "Oh my God." And I'm like, well, name another event that you can visit for free. What sporting event? What
indoor event that is unlimited in its
right? Like that's just what happens, and it's only $15. So just deal with it. Like, who cares? But then someone said like, "Oh, they're charging $50 in Paris," and I was like, "They did?" And so that seemed weird. That's a bit high. I think $20 American dollars is about the max. I think I've paid 10 to 15. I think 20 is more than 20. You're getting greedy.
Yeah, boy, that venue in Paris was kind of pretty though.
Yeah,
maybe
it was really pretty.
Maybe they had baguettes too, you know. So
what did you
maybe
guys
you'll
say?
have to make a trip next year to go race that venue.
I think that's not a bad idea.
Hey, speaking of hybrid engine, I just opened Instagram because I was looking for Taylor's post. Look at that. Look at that.
Oh,
hey, I know.
Congratulations. You're on the hybrid engine, and you're also Team Resolute Coffee, who we have mad love for.
How long have you been with hybrid engine, Samantha?
I started training with them shortly after Battle Bunker when I met Matt in person. So almost 2 years.
That's great.
Yeah.
So can we let the record show that I was a massive fan of you going all the way back then?
Yes, we can. You're like the OG Smooth on the Loose fan.
Right. Let's listen. It's one thing I like to do. It's put people over. I love to root for my people. So I was not awake and did not watch any of the races this morning. I haven't even gone back to watch the races. I just was excited to see the results. Somebody's sending me a picture.
Do we need to watch the races when those results kind of speak for themselves?
What? How close they are? The men's was super close. The women's was not as close.
The men's looked bonkers. I can't even imagine what that wall ball thing. You know, those guys seconds apart. Fantastic.
Yeah, you were talking about the ultra, and I was thinking about this.
Yeah,
Glenn, if you're okay, I hope you're okay. I don't know if he had to go for work or.
Yeah,
he's just busy. That's all.
Yeah, I just had to take care of a little errand for my wife.
Worries.
We're good.
No worries.
I'm good.
Okay. So let's pull them up, shall we? Oh, there you are. So let's go to everybody's favorite page, the high result. One of my favorite pages, anyways.
I love that page.
We all do. So let's go to the females first. Share. Boom. All right. So on the women's side, Lucy and Sinead, 55-52, and actually looks like they beat Meg and Camilla, who I would have had as the favorites.
I was all of
by
us
a full minute.
Yeah, all of us were expecting that. Meg had a post that she had a pretty tough flight going over, so that
I saw that.
Yeah.
I did see that. But hey, we've all got excuses, right? As Bracken likes to say, we've all got excuses. But once you show up at the start line, we're all at zero. And then Margot and Charlotte from a much later wave actually beat Zara and Kate, but they'd already qualified. So Zara and Kate get the thing, but they're only a second behind Meg and Camilla. So watch out for these two ladies who I had on my show a couple weeks ago. And super, super impressive.
Vanden Lindenloof.
And look at the ages. Look how young these folks are.
Well, and when you look at the men, it's the same way. These kids are taking over.
So I interviewed Emily, who I didn't know. Bring you guys back for a second. Emily, I didn't realize. Emily, who won the LCQ,
right?
Also 20 years old.
Yeah, I did hear that.
So watch the fuck out. We never saw this in OCR, Glenn. We did not have young bucks coming in out of nowhere and like shocking us.
Yeah, next year is going to be bonkers.
Even more.
Yeah, it's just going to be really, really fun to see all these new names. I didn't think we would see so many new names so quickly, and they've just shown up. It's been wonderful.
Yeah. It's been really exciting with like the LCQ and then these doubles races, like, you know, getting all these new names and the LCQ coverage. I don't know if you guys watched the post-race videos, but they did a great job with those.
really kind of perfect coverage, like just kind of
Mhm.
cutting out enough of the runs, cutting out enough of everything. It made it a really,
Mhm.
really watchable thing. I would easily send that to anybody who wanted to know about the sport, right?
Oh,
And
yeah.
it was a really great way to introduce them.
Yeah,
Mhm.
and I think
Yeah.
nothing beats live, right? But I do think they clearly were like, okay, for LCQ, we want to make it I don't know what the difference is. A $50,000 spend versus a 75, a 25 versus a 70, a 50, like whatever it
Mhm.
is to make it not live and just shoot it and then quickly go after.
Mhm.
Yeah, it was amazing. And I think that was a good compromise, right? Like, hey, we're not going to spend as much, but we know these are valuable to people. Maybe next year we'll get that for the doubles as well. Did they do it for the doubles?
Yeah, I was just going to ask, we don't have any footage
don't-
other than
I
live.
don't think, yeah. I was
Yeah.
wondering about that the other day. I'm like, oh, did they do something similar for the doubles? But I didn't see anything.
Well, I'm glad you're on, Glenn, because this is the excitement I have around hybrid to watch the growth. So I always think about like here's reason number 76. I just sent Jack Bauer a post. Here's reason 76 why the hybrid ceiling is so much fucking higher. And again, I know technology has gone faster, farther. Social media has gone faster, farther. But here's a perfect example. So anybody who knows me knows like all I ever want from a race I'm not at is can I please get some good pictures of the people that won, right? That's all I want in this world. So I reach out to all these winners after I've woken up a few hours later. I shoot them all a message. And do you see what I get sent? High quality, unbelievable, killer photos, right? There's one. There's one. And these are all from different photographers because HYROX has, because a lot of these brands have their own teams now, just like in CrossFit. So they're sending their own people. There's other hired guns, hired photographers that either fans of the sport or work for HYROX. So I just have my pick of the litter with like, oh, you want some in action? You want us before the race? You want us after the race? So just the level that it's at, right? I just saw another sponsor. Rich Ryan, just speaking of Rich Ryan, just did some stuff with Kane footwear people. Hey, we're not the Crocs, I think is, like they look just like Crocs, but I have a Spartan pair. I like them, wear them around the house. But so now they're in the hybrid game. It's been amazing to watch.
It looks really good.
Do you currently have any sponsors, Moose?
No, I do not. I am on the Team Resolute Coffee, so I'm more like an ambassador, I would
Right.
say, and then H2O Audio ambassador, but no sponsors.
So who is H2O? Because somebody else is on them. Who else is on? Somebody else is on them.
There's a few people on there. I think maybe Tara
Yeah, Tara. That's why I
Jackson.
saw.
Yeah, they're a headphone company, so they do a lot they have a lot of triathletes on their roster. They have the over the ear bone conduction ones, and they're waterproof, so hence why they do a lot of triathlete stuff, because they're great for swimming. So I wear those when I go running, especially when I have the stroller and I bring the kids with me so I can hear cars and stuff. I run a lot on a bike path, and there's an e-bike epidemic out there of kids speeding past on those things. So I like to be able to hear what's going on. So, but they reached out to Brian with Resolute, and I think that's how they kind of got, dipped their toes in the hybrid space. So he put them in contact with a bunch of athletes.
Dave, fitness experiment guy, just said the doubles are up. So it looks like they did decide to do it for that.
Oh, awesome.
But it's only for that one because they didn't do it in Miami, did they? Dave, let me know if they did it in Miami too. I think because they're over there, they're European based. And so that's probably why they went ahead and did London Olympia, which, by the way, 11,000 finishers in London Olympia. Fucking nuts.
Wow.
So go check those out. So then I want to give a quick shout out to our, speaking of OCR, our OCR heroes, Rebecca and Nicole, who came in 7th. They were going to race twice. I suggested to them they race twice because every woman they're battling has been on that course 20 times probably each. But I guess one of them, I forget which, had an injury that was niggling. And so they didn't end up doing that first one in Miami. And then this was their first shot at it. And I spoke to them today, and they got a shitload of no reps in the wall balls. That cost them a minute, probably whatever else cost them some time. And I hope they come back because I'd love to see it. Rebecca and Nicole are like super, super fast. And I think once upon a time, Rebecca even said, like, oh man, the sleds are so much easier. I'm like, yeah, you were weighed down by those things in the early days. But now you can be a lighter athlete and do some work and do really well. So I hope they come back.
The fact that they got 7th means they really should come back.
That's what I said. Again, on basically their first time. Nicole had never done it.
Yeah.
And Rebecca had only done 2, and that was in 2020.
Mhm.
So a whole different ball game. So yeah, in that field, coming in 7th is pretty impressive. And yeah, I think they should come back.
Nice.
Yeah, absolutely.
So on the guys' side, hang on, let's go to the dudes.
3 16 to 29 teams.
Motherfuckers.
Took the podium.
Those cocksuckers.
Right? That Charlie is the real deal, huh?
Charlie and Ollie, Jake and Alan, Hiddy, Viersma, and Thierry Wilgenberg. Let me know if I'm incorrect. 50-02, 50-06, 50-07.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
And you've got some other Elite 15 athletes on teams that didn't make it. So Sean, who's been just shy of the Elite 15, was 5th. Voisin was 6th. Harry Thompson, another guy who's just been off the Elite 15, 7th. So yeah, some really solid teams. Tiago and Lucas.
Yep.
Way down here, 52-12.
Mhm.
Imagine being 52-12 and finishing 14th. Cheryl, imagine us doing a HYROX in 52 minutes.
We would be fresh as daisies. We wouldn't need to bring anything.
I mean, holy to the fucking moly, dude.
Yeah, that's a whole different experience than what we do out there.
So I think that actually is a perfect time to bring up the idea that they are 100% doing the relays on Friday, the day after the Elite 15 singles, and then the doubles are going the following day, which means they're going to lose, I believe, a lot of the top talent on the doubles or on the relays. I mean,
Yeah, who's going to want to race the relay when they have an Elite 15 doubles the next day?
I mean, I just think it's such a silly way to do it, and I haven't talked to them about why. I'm hoping to. I'm still trying to get Matt Locke on the line, the new head of sport, and we emailed while he was in Barcelona, and he said, let's set it up for next week. So we're still working on it. But what's his name posted the other day, Eugenio, he was like, yeah, I'm out. Like he was the one picking the teams. He's like, hey, send in your applications. Then he's like, fuck that, I'm out.
Yeah, no, I think we need to put our money on Team Morocco this time. I think there's going to be some, dark horse countries coming through.
Do you have stock? Or is this like a Bitcoin thing? You're trying to move. What do they call it? You trying to rug pull? What do you know that we don't know?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm just
what
thinking.
Do you know about Morocco?
We're gonna. I remember seeing them. They kind of got one of the draws. Like they're going to be. I think they're going to be in the mix. And I think who's going to show up for some of these other teams. So you never know.
Was it Eugenio? I don't want to say it wrong because now I don't see it. Did he take it off? I don't want to say it wrong. Apologies for whoever did it. I thought it was Eugenio, but maybe it wasn't. But yeah, like.
Hey, wait. So what's the deal though? So they're not paying for
relay? So last year was like, it was basically like an exhibition. Like, hey, let's do this cool thing. Let's get Hunter and Meg and all the best from each country. Right. And it was a cool, fun thing. And everyone liked it. Right. It was
it was at the very end.
Yeah. It's just like OCRWC, right? It's the last day. It's kind of a fun thing. And I think even OCRWC, like maybe they give money to the first place, but it's more of like a let's end the weekend together in this cool new way, right, of a relay. And so they're bringing it back this year, and we've known that, and we all just assumed, oh, they'll do it on Sunday like they did this year. And then we learned that it's Friday, which is the day after the Elite 15's Thursday. And my only feeling is it has something to do with maybe some weird sponsor obligation they have that day. Like, I don't know what it is and if they would say it if that was the truth, but it literally makes no sense to put these athletes who are already going to kill themselves for the Elite 15 and then try to do it again
Oh yeah.
with doubles, right? Right? There's like none of them are going to be like, oh yeah, let's do the relay for fun the day before for God and country.
Well, and I honestly,
Yeah.
Or Buddha and country. I don't know who you believe in.
I actually had my flight and everything set up, knowing that Sunday night was going to be sort of the finish. And now I don't know, what are we doing? What are we doing Sunday? Like, there's some doubles, and then we just all go home. That just feels weird.
No, you got to go to the after party. That's from like
9 p.m.
to like 5 a.m.
Oh my gosh, who does that? I don't know who does that.
No, that sounds awful.
Those Germans, they like to party.
You know,
I'm exhausted thinking about it.
Can you imagine? Because you're racing Sunday, right? Aren't you? Are you racing Sunday?
I don't. So I'm either Friday or Saturday. It says the age groups.
Yeah.
Yeah. So depending on when the age group split is, I don't know if it'll be Friday or Saturday.
Is it out yet, Cheryl? Did you look?
What's that?
Is the age group split out? Did you look yet when the old people are racing?
I would suspect, Samantha, I don't know what age group you're in, but if you're under 40, you'll be Friday. I'm pretty sure.
I think that's what it's, it says as of now, but there's like a little asterisk that says like could change. It probably, I'm assuming I'm racing Friday because I'm planning on flying home Saturday night. So.
Right? But isn't that the problem? Like they can be like, well, we can change, and then they will, right? Like all of a sudden Saturday morning.
And like Cheryl says, we'll just show up.
We'll be like, okay, just tell us when. We're gonna be there. Yeah. Yeah. So anyway.
I'm picturing that the HYROX after party to be like, because everyone who does HYROX is chiseled muscularly. They're very good looking. That's one reason I wasn't invited for HYROX part. But I'm picturing, remember in Matrix 2 where they have all those guys dancing at that one part, like and like they're really, they're all like models kind of. It's going to be sort of, that's what for the people who are invited.
Was that 2 or 3?
That. No, it's 2.
Oh, was it 3? Might have been Matrix 3.
Matrix 2, I would put my life on that.
Cheryl Snow.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Here's when you know sequels aren't hitting the mark necessarily. When you can confuse 2 and 3, which Matrix is one of those movies I 100% confuse them. For 1, sure. I'm very clear about. 4, I'm clear about. Shouldn't have made it. Tell me why you're so clear on Matrix 2. Do you remember watching that in the theater and being very like, ooh?
No, I remember watching in the theater thinking, geez, really? I don't think they should have made 2 or 3. I think they just did a terrible job with both. So that's a whole different subject, but I do remember the dancing. I think Glenn's absolutely right. Those people are going to be greased up and half naked, and I'm not going to feel comfortable there at all.
Cheryl, can we just have the old people corner? We'll have a little tea, we'll have a little coffee. Is that okay?
We'll just we'll just bring a book, so I don't even know what to do there. I wouldn't even know how to act. But I think there will be bouncers just taking a look at us, deciding whether or not we look right. We can show up. So Glenn, I'm with you.
But that seems to be a thing. I mean, I think every year they've done this. They've done the after party. I think the Vegas one, they just sort of, it wasn't big enough. So they just sort of booked a club that was already happening.
Yes.
And then did you go to that one even?
I did not, but I know like Rich went. I remember Rich
But I think you didn't even have to pay. Like you were supposed to pay, but then if you just showed up to that club, you got in anyway, or there was a different line.
If you had like your wristband or something, you could get in. And there was like this long line and everything. And I had volunteered all day that day, and then it helped at the Elite 15 race at the end of the day. And I had brought clothes, but by the end of the night, I was like, no way, this is stupid. I'm not going. So I didn't go.
Right. And then
up really late. Yeah.
No. And I know that they had a big one in Manchester and a big one in the, what's it called? In Nice. So I'm sure this one will be massive, and I won't be there either.
Right. So I don't know. We'll have our own, because I'm staying Sunday night because I thought there was going to be a relay, and now there's not.
Well,
there's just nothing.
Well, yeah, maybe that's what we should do. Like when are most age group people racing?
All the singles are done by Saturday. And
okay, but most people are both. Don't you think most people who qualified age group qualified both?
A lot of them, yeah. So we could see when the doubles are done and then just find a spot for sure.
Right. Have the HFM after party that starts at 6:30 and is over by 9.
I was going to say 8. So 9 is fine. They can go to the other one if they want to stay up.
All right. Well, that's all I've got this week, Cheryl. Any other questions?
Oh, I always have a million, but I think this has been a good discussion. So,
all right. Well, listen, great news. Dave will be back next week. We thought he'd be back this week, but I think DEKA on a flight sent him like via Houston and then Siberia and then back to Toronto. So he couldn't make it. But Dave will be back next week. And thanks for coming on, DEKA champs.
Great job, you guys. Really, really good job.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you. And thanks for having us.
Thanks for having us.
All righty. I will talk to everybody soon.